Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another HuShang tutorials lesson. In today's video we have a PvZ against Marmello, and what we're gonna do is just have you guys kind of watch along and try to see if you notice anything weird. I have two replays today, so one of these replays we missed something crucial. So let's watch this together. I'm opening, normal pylon, getting my gate, and just imagine you're playing this game and see how you would react to the info. I think I wanted to do an adept build, but this doesn't really matter in this particular game. It's more about the scouting. Wink, wink. And yeah, this is against the. I think she streams. I'm pretty sure she streams. So our probe comes in here, and we're looking to see if this is a hatch first or something maybe a little off. So we see this hatch, it's about halfway. You want to ask yourself if that's, a normal hatch timing. And we also see a pool about halfway. So if you think this is normal, you're wrong. This is a little bit faster than normal. So in this game, I already know that she's doing a cheese, or at least I'm 90% sure it's a cheese. And what I want to find out here is whether she's going to invest in, some lings and queens. So we should see me check these hatcheries. So you look at this hatchery. If you look closely, you can see it's wiggling more. So that actually means a queen's building. But if we check this hatchery, you notice it's not wiggling. That means she cut a queen. And so you have to do that when you make a lot of lings like this and you get an early pool. So I actually know she's cheesing me right now. But in this game, the first game, I'll show you the second game in a second where I defend. In this game, we actually lose. And I'll show you why. So we come back to my vision. I know this is coming, so I chrono my adept and I start up a second unit. I finish my wall, but I'm a little too cocky and a little too slow. So what I should have done here is thrown down a shield battery and maybe chronoed this unit as well, and maybe made a sentry. I think a sentry is actually pretty good here. But yeah, what she does is she targets my gate here, and I don't have quite enough money to re-wall, so I don't think that's the play. But a sentry would help for sure. But yeah, she breaks through, and from here we're pretty dead. I try to pull the pros, but it's not too clean. So I mean I made a wall and I got an extra unit, but that wasn't quite enough. So we need to respect this type of all-in a little more for sure, but I think this is a very subtle all-in. I don't think a lot of people would notice the early hatch and the early pool and the lack of queen. Especially the lack of queen is really subtle. So yeah, so we definitely lose here. So let's take a look at the second game. I'll be right back with that. Okay, so here we have a second game against Marmello. This is on a different account. I switched accounts because my rapid fire wasn't working on my other account. So I don't believe she knows that this is me again. So she does the same build. And this is pretty awesome because I can show you guys a better response. So we get our pylon. We'll grab our gate in a second. Same. You don't really need to worry about anything this early in the game, of course. We'll do a gate scout. Anything less than a gate scout is not really necessary, unless you want to be annoying and block their hatch, I guess. But the gate scout's pretty fine. You'll get there in time for a 12 pool, and you get to make a little more money, so might as well do a gate scout. And this time you should be paying a little more attention to how far along the hatchery is. So we arrive here and you can see again that the hatchery is like halfway, which is quite a bit farther than it should be. It should be more like a third. And this is the bigger tell, that the pool is halfway. So I know she's doing the same build. And we can also notice the queens if we want to look for that. And so what I'm going to change this game is I'm going to add in a shield battery, I believe, and I'm going to chrono 3 units instead of 2. So I'm going to give it a little more respect. We're trying to cut the corners a little too tight. So here we're going to notice that no queen is building. Right, there's no wiggle on this hatchery. We can actually remove this too. Like, you guys can just look at the hatch and see that there's no wiggle. If you can't notice it, then you should practice, because it's pretty helpful. Maybe not if you're below masters or GM, but if you're masters GM, you should notice that. And the second hatchery was wiggling, so we know there's just one queen, which means she's making a ton of lings again, so she's doing the same build. And so back at home, I'm going to chrono my first unit. I'm going to get the shield battery. I'm going to start the wall. And I should get a sentry here, I think. I think like chrono this and then go sentry is actually better. So it's not perfect. It's not a perfect defense. You could make some optimizations for sure, but yeah, I think this is pretty solid. Get a sentry here, chrono that as well. And then you can scout in case it's some other weird build. But I mean, she's going to be behind no matter what because of that huge cut on the hatchery. You can see it's 28 to 16. So we basically need to just not die here. Now this does get a little sketchy for sure. This definitely got more sketchy than it had to. If I had a sentry, I could have just force gilded, and then this would have been super easy and rewalled. So this does get a little more sketchy, but it's not a huge deal. I mean, we have the shield battery at full. We haven't even used the overcharge yet. And she lets me get the wall. And then she does a follow-up Baneling bust, which I definitely should have been ready for. I didn't actually think you could afford a Baneling nest with this build. So I should have put the Stalker in the wall, which would have made this really, really easy to hold. But instead what I did was had my Adepts in the front. So this almost cost us the game. It's pretty tight, I won't lie. Here come in the Banes. Yeah, she was gonna go for the gate, but I full walled. And luckily, they don't hit at the same time. So my Adepts didn't die. Otherwise, they would have died for sure. And yeah, from here we're pretty good, right? Like we need to get some sentries, of course, but we should be pretty okay once you get that hold here. So yeah, so whenever you see this early Zergling rush, you want to go Stalker, then Sentry, and always get a shield battery, and you should be good. As long as you know it's coming and you're not super cocky like me, then you should be okay. She tries again, but it's a little bit hopeless. Once you get sentries and a Stalker, it's GG, I think. So here I just wait. I let the Stalker tank a little bit. That way we're not using the sentry too early. But yeah, from here it's GG, and that's how you hold this this sneaky build. Alright, I have one more replay for you guys against Marmello, where she does a different cheese. Let's take a look at my vision so you can't see what's happening. And yeah, we have one more. I was gonna do just 2, but then I realized, oh, the video wasn't 10 minutes or more, so I gotta give you guys more content and sell out. I know, it's horrible, more content. But what are you gonna do? So here we are, Pylon Gate. I'm not gonna fast forward this if you know, maybe there's some bronze, silver, gold players who want to see the opening. But of course you can just skip ahead if you're masters or whatever. And so this probe is gonna come across the map, and we are going to see what's up. And I was kind of wondering if she was gonna do the same cheese, or if that's her only build. I'm not even sure if this is her. This could be some other person just using her name. But we come here, we see the Overlord. Let's kind of a weirdly timed Overlord, by the way. And no hatch. So right here, there's quite a few builds that could be going on. This could be a 12 pool actually. But this can also be a 14-14, which is a very fast pool, very fast gas. And it can also be a 17-17. And if you want to know like really, really tight scouts, you should check out my PvZ scouting guide. But here we can see that this pool is well on its way, maybe 3/4 or so, and there's a gas. So this is a 17-17. So this is the least aggressive of the options. And that's why I came back down here right away, so I can block this hatchery, which is standard for a 17-17, and just force this kind of awkward hatchery. Usually this forces them to do an all-in build, which is what I want for the free points. So we force that, grab our Nexus. As a side note, normally I don't go Cyber first against 17-17. I usually just go Nexus first, so I'm not really sure why I did this. It's definitely not necessary. I guess you get the adept faster, you can do a scout or whatever, but yeah, you don't need to do that. So 4 lings. So let me ask you guys what you would do in this situation, because we don't have any scouting, and so she can take this 3rd base, right? Or she could be doing like a Roach Warren or Baneling Nest over here. So we really need to get some more info, but the problem is if you send out your adept, you're gonna get into a lot of trouble because you won't have a unit for these lings. And so you need another solution. Now you might notice my solution on the minimap, but you need to get a little more info if you want to play this game. So this is the solution. So we have a 2nd probe coming across. So the first one got tagged by the lings, so I just sent out another one. And the key info is right here. So right now we know that she's up to something suspicious, and we also see gas being mined right there. So this tells us that there's a Bane Nest or a Roach Warren in this area. And if I show you the everyone cam, boom, there's the Roach Warren. Just barely didn't see it. But so now we know that there is some cheese coming, like 95% I would say. And so we can react pretty heavily. We can throw down another gate, full wall, and we can start getting a bunch of shield batteries. And this is totally fine. This game I got a sentry. I do think the sentry is really, really strong in these positions. Probably I should get it earlier actually. Is maybe better. And a ton of shield batteries. I am making probes a little bit here and there, but the main focus is this defense. And so we're just totally blind right now, but the chance that she's macroing is incredibly low. It basically has to be this all in. And even if it's not, we should be ahead in workers. So you'll be fine. But yeah, prepare a lot of shield batteries. You can see I'm spreading them, so they're not right beside each other, so the bios can't hit them too easily. Maybe if you hit it like right here, you can get both. But it's not too easy to bio both. And you got to be very patient here. We don't actually care about this cyber too much. You can poke the units if you want, but basically what we're going to do is just wait till this whole wall dies. Or at least these 2 buildings, so we have some space to move around in. And in the meantime, we want to make a ling... a composition that's good against lings, not against ravagers. You might be tempted to make stalkers here, because you see ravagers, and like, okay, stalkers are decent against ravagers, but actually you just want to make like zealot sentry, and that's much stronger. Again, we don't really care about this gateway, but I am poking a little bit when I can just to get some extra damage in. Delay a little bit, get some more units. And we also have the immortal on the way. Now I think this is a mistake, trying to bring the lings in too early, getting a little impatient, because I killed quite a few before the battle even starts. And we were able to dodge the bios pretty well, and I mean, once you have this many shield batteries, your units just don't die at all. So, pretty easy cleanup from here. I don't even think we used the overcharge. I think I chronoed the immortal or something stupid. I definitely should have overcharged one of these to help out. But yeah, pretty pretty clean defense against this build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and you're feeling a little more comfortable against these Zerg all-ins. And I will see you in the next one.